Hey, everyone, and welcome to Which One Do I Roll? Where we answer the question, which one should I roll? Or something like that. And here we are, here today we've chosen to run Beneath the Cursed Moon, which is a game by Carious. You can check out their itch.io account in the chat. They're pretty cool. You can also follow them on Twitter. They seem pretty nice. I like them. I'm digging the game a lot, and we've been having a lot of fun with this. For those of you who don't know what you're in store for, it's a Castlevania style adventure where three of us, that would be those of us that are not named Marcus, are playing characters that are all like sort of cool classic horror tropes or twists and things like that. Should we do a quick character refresher reminder for everyone, Marcus, or do you have that planned for later?
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Cool. Uh, yeah. Well, okay. Nia, why don't you introduce your character to us?
I play Moss, she, them pronouns, and they are a dreamer, which means she has a connection to these eldritch, otherworldly beings and can do astral sorcery and stuff.
Mm,
That's neat.
that's awesome.
Very neat.
I love fun Eldritch horror. Literally, one of my favorite RPGs that I've ever played in my entire life was an Eldritch horror based RPG. It was very, very cool. And next up, we've got Ash. Ash, you want to tell us about your character?
I play Emily M. Smith, always called M. She's a werewolf who kills really, really well.
That is profoundly true. We have seen so much slashing in this, and it has always been beautiful and so much fun. I am sorely tempted now that I know that your name is Emily Smith to have my character just in a fit of anger at some point, just like demand Emily M. Smith, you know.
You don't know her middle name, so you can't use it against her.
That's fair. Totally fair. And I play Lady Anne, an older woman who is a warlock, made eldritch pacts, and is sacrifice happy, like sacrificing people to gain some power. And it's worked out relatively well for her this time around. We'll see how it works out right now, because last I checked, we were about to head into a room and deal with,
Dracula.
Dracula, Count Vlad, Lestat, the vampire, the one,
Tipish.
the only. Yeah, he's releasing hordes of things around the world, and he's got sort of weird beliefs surrounding him that make him think that he is holy, and people think that he is holy and godlike, even though he is clearly
An asshole.
infernal or undead, but mostly an asshole. And we are going to try to foment a ritual and or defeat this person to stop this person and save our town so that I can become the president of a school, the headmaster of a school, and maybe hire a skeleton that I took a liking to. Anyway.
We're really trying. We're really trying.
Yeah. Anyway, in case you couldn't tell from the final nature of this thing, this is going to be our last episode of this game, which is called Beneath the Cursed Moon by Carious, as you know. Next week, we're going to start our quest arc, where we're going to be playing a series of episodes and quests. We're actually going to do character creation on stream next week, and we may actually move directly from character creation into play right then and there, just sort of see what happens and how the story evolves. Quest, for those of you that don't know, is a warm-hearted and simple and elegant RPG, and it looks very, very sweet to me, and I'm excited to play it a little bit and see how it feels. Sounds good. Marcus, I'm going to leave it to you now, if that's okay.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. You said Lestat, and I immediately had the thought that this would be really fun in like a gaslight, like Southern Gothic setting.
Ooh.
That would be awesome.
But this game?
Yeah. Beneath the Cursed Moon.
Absolutely.
I think that
Honestly,
would
that's
be...
kind of what I. So go ahead.
No, please.
I was kind of thinking something similar with like a South American, Southern United States, word, like style Gothic horror, which is just like hillbillies, hillbilly werewolves, and
That is so spooky.
party nightclub vampires.
Yeah, when I ran
True
Curse
Blood.
of Strahd, that's how I ran it.
That sounds fun, actually.
Yeah.
Effectively, like True Blood.
Strahd had a convincing Southern drawl in his voice.
That rules.
Bit of vocal fry to go with it.
Joanna, I am a simple country vampire. Yeah. So I think where we left off was in the ballroom, you all had ascended the staircase and seen the painting of presumably Strahd. I had described the painting as being
Strahd.
kind of yeah. Oh, did I say Strahd? I meant Dracula. Um,
You
uh,
know,
of
one of them ripped off the other. I'm not going to say who,
it's a
but
chicken and
one
egg
of them
thing.
was invented in the 80s, and the other one was invented in the 1800s. But I'm not saying which one ripped off the other.
Excuse me. Yeah, you saw a painting of Vlad Tepes of Dracula himself. I had described it as being kind of shifting, or maybe not shifting, but you all saw different people. I don't think you noted that to each other at least. And then you came upon five pedestals bearing five, or actually three, death masks, and you had the other two. You all had the other two. They each described their mode of death, the way they died, and they were. I should have had this up already. They were firearms, magic, steel, wood and stone, so a more like primitive weapon, and what am I missing? Oh, talons, claws, fangs, and talons. So natural weapons, and you have two that are not placed, and three that are presumably, or actually, that might be out of order. You are not sure, I think, at this time.
Yeah, so just a refresher, what's on the left and what's on the right and what's in the middle? Because there were three that were out of order.
Oh
Or
yes.
three that...
So as you entered Dracula's palace, you found that there were two wings to the east and west. The east wing was a trophy room full of various now deceased organic things, animals, and samples of those things. You fought Harlock Graves, who was searching on Dracula's behalf for ingredients that you all presumed were necessary for Dracula's plan. On the West Wing, you found a library where you met a very, I was going to say nice, but I think he's nice, a skeleton named Ramon Bauer, who you hypnotized somehow. I forget how actually, but into opening the secret back area of the
That's
library.
just sorcery.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Moss did it. Okay. Um,
Yes.
and you had him open that area um, to gain access to the book that Lord Montgomery was after, also on Dracula's behalf. I believe you now have that book. Is that true?
Indeed, I do.
And you also prepared the components for a binding ritual. I think
Yeah.
in that time. Yeah. So in our previous episodes, we explored those two wings, and then at the end of last episode, you all ascended the staircase, and you ended up where you are now, in a grand ballroom surrounded by ornate floor-to-ceiling windows. Outside, you can see the Titanic monstrosity, the Uzuru or Godzilla type monstrosity that is laying waste to the kingdom.
Okay, so the order of the pedestals, we can just put them in any order and figure out what we want to do with that. Is that, um, let me rephrase that. Does anyone have any ideas about what the trick is here?
M shrugs her shoulders.
Moss, any guesses?
Uh, oh, well, okay, so remind me, the pedestals were firearms, magic, and then I missed one. What was the next one?
We have
Uh,
steel, stone and wood, and talons and claws.
Right, firearms, magic, stone, steel wood, natural weapons.
There could be a chronology to them, possibly. It could be putting them in order. Um, there could be a brutality to them. Um,
out of character, I kind of think I know where this is supposed to go.
I'll take it.
So there's bone, or like there's the tooth and claws. That first, then wood, then stone, then steel, then firearms.
Yeah. So where does magic go in that hierarchy, though?
Second, because that if that's so it's There isn't wood then, right?
It's stone and wood, steel,
Okay.
firearms.
So I'd say magic would be just before stone and wood.
So you think magic is earlier than stone and wood?
Possibly.
Can I roll? Is there? Hold on. Is there a lore?
There is lore.
There's lore. Thank you. Can
Concerning magic, I think you would you'd be able to roll easily, if not have a bonus. I don't know if I'd. Yeah.
It is an investigation check.
excellent.
Investigation move.
I'm gonna roll lore. You know, I'm blood happy from the sacrifice I just made a minute ago. So you know, whatever.
Boy, it would be helpful if I had the roll 20 open.
6 or below?
Oh.
Or
I got a
Oh,
four.
that was a 1 and a 1.
ooh,
Double ones.
snake eyes. So you failed to get any useful information.
Yep.
M doesn't have knowledge. Just leave it at that.
I could try that. Oh. That is not good. Still.
Well, good thing we're getting these rolls out of the way.
Was that a 6 or below too?
Yeah.
five. Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I mean, I'm just gonna do it then. I think I disagree.
Do you think it should be wood, stone, and then magic?
I wonder if magic is. Well, I'm thinking about who's building this is, right? And it seems to me that Dracula might value magic over the firearm. So I wonder if magic is last. If like it's sort of from most primitive to most refined, rather than a time list.
Okay.
But, well, it's the the thing is labeled chronology puzzle.
Oh
Is it?
fuck.
So that's the
It is literally the
I'm sorry. Not that.
Oh my god. I guess that doesn't like break it completely. But yeah,
No,
it's a
no,
chronology
that's
puzzle.
a good answer. Okay. Well then the question is, did magic come before the claw?
That is the question, yeah.
I don't think it does, depending on the style of magic. Because for the most part, you have to be to an extent developed to be able to use magic, regardless of what it is. You have to have sentience, you have to have that knowledge. So it makes sense that tooth and claw would come first, and then wood and stone, and then magic. Yeah, rethinking that wood stone would be before magic, I think, because you can be a monkey using a rock and killing people, but not being able to like summon greater demons.
Okay,
Oh.
I'll do it.
Right.
So we'll
What's
put
the order?
death masks on in that order. The order is claw,
Mhm.
then wood and stone, then magic, then steel, then firearms.
Then feathers.
Nothing happens.
Great. I pick up magic, and I'm going to put it in a new order. I think magic is more important, so I'm just going to trust my instinct that. And I'm going to move steel and firearms down and put magic last.
Okay, so the order is claws, wood,
Claw,
stone.
claw, wood, stone, steel, firearm, magic.
Okay. Nothing happened.
Okay, well now I'm going to finally go to
Up and around.
M's way,
Chronology.
and I will
To the
bump
right.
those firearms last. So the order will now be claw, magic, wood, and stone, steel, firearms.
Nothing happened.
Great. Then I'm swapping magic, and magic is going to be first now. Magic, claw, wood and stone,
Etc.
steel, firearms.
The masks all at once awaken, the way they did when they were telling you how they died. They wail, their eyes glow, and the double doors behind these pedestals swing open slowly. Not they're rather heavy, so they swing open in an inappropriate pace. Um, Behind the doors, you see the silhouette of a man, probably resembling the painting you saw coming up here. Behind him, you see a coffin reclined against something that you can't see, and behind that, you see a statue. It resembles the Baphomet from our history, but it is like everything else here, or like all the other things in this place, made up of avian, simian, and reptilian parts. And it is almost identical. So it's doing the magician's symbol, as is above is so below, and surrounding it on how to describe this. So not surrounding it on like as if it were like as if they were on the ground, but surrounding it vertically, I guess, are several torches, and a number of them are lit. The ones toward the bottom are lit. And yeah, that's what you see. The man before the coffin has not turned around or acknowledged you in any way, but the doors are open.
Does he smell like a vampire?
He reeks of vampiric blood.
Yeah. I look to Lady Anne and then to Moss.
Well, I feel like we should speak with him first.
M waves you forward.
Oh, me, right. Sorry, I forgot. Come
Nina,
along,
are you
Greta.
muted?
And I walk forward.
Right behind you. So as you approach, the man turns around, and much like the painting, you all see different versions of him. You wouldn't recognize this unless you had some reason to note it, but he fits your individual idea of aesthetic, whether it be like romantic or purely aesthetic or anything else. He fits that description. As he turns around, he begins to say, "There you are. There you are. Finally, it's time to get this thing under way." He slows down as he sees you.
I would like for M to be within range to quickly grab people and throw them back and move in. Like she's ready, but she's still looking calm.
Are you getting in front of people to do this?
No.
Okay.
I'm off to the side. This
So
is,
you're
this is
close
like
enough.
a larger like cathedral space, right?
Yeah, it's got the look of a throne room. There's pillars leading up to the area where he was standing in the coffin and the statue. And yeah. Torches lighting.
Just out
away.
of idle curiosity, is there an organ?
Yes. There is now.
Is Ramon play it?
No. Is he
Send him
able
play
to?
the bone
Oh,
organ?
okay. No, he's not yet.
You
Is he
guys
able
want me
to?
play the bone
Totally.
organ?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Playing bone castles.
I'm sending just the side of the people, so just the side of my group, but a little bit further back, in like a non-threatening manner.
With the intent to be able to eat them
Quickly,
backward.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you do that easily enough. Yeah, he pauses or slows down in his speech as he sees you all, clearly not expecting you. And he smiles, a broad, warm smile. Not shit-eating, genuinely warm. Whether you take it that way is up to you. He says, I presume you've killed Lord Montgomery in Graves, then.
I curtsy.
I kind of start picking at the blood underneath my fingernails.
Excellent.
Yes.
Tremendous.
It was necessary.
Trivial, even.
Are any of you holding the book, visibly?
I think I'm holding the book, but I'm not holding it. Where am I holding it?
It can be anywhere you want. It doesn't have to be like a gotcha, like, ooh, you had it in front of him. Yeah.
No, I think I'm holding it as I curtsy.
Okay. That poses some problems. Not the end of the world, not yet. But that does pose some problems. I will be needing that book. So
M kind of does like a triple take to the window towards the giant Godzilla creature, back at him, and then like quickly does it again. Like what?
My lord, do you realize the harm that you have wrought?
of course, it was my intent,
Your intent was to cause harm.
in a manner of speaking. My
What is
intent.
the goal?
Are you trying to get me monologuing?
Would it
My
work?
dog.
Well, the immediate goal is to get that book out of your hands one way or another. Do you intend to hand it over?
I have not yet decided. Perhaps you could compel me to.
Truth be told, I don't think I can. My plans don't involve you.
What do they involve?
His smile grows larger. I want this conversation to keep going. I don't want to just throw you all into combat because it's interesting. So I'm like
Then
a
have
little
it keep going.
conflicted above game. Yeah,
Mm.
okay. Well, I guess since they don't involve you, it wouldn't hurt to tell you. Initially, my plan was to,
Should we sit down for this?
if you'd like. I'm afraid I don't have any chairs.
Manners, please.
Initially,
find-
I imagine you all gathered that my plan was to summon something from the divine plane. Well, that
Indeed.
was part of my plan. Oh, I've assumed too much, maybe. What have you gathered?
No, please, you. The bits and pieces that we've gathered may not be the full picture, and I wouldn't want to misinterpret something.
He laughs under his breath. Alright then. My plan was to summon a creature from the other side. Not so much as to use as a tool, but rather as a meal. A mode of sustenance. I needed that book that you are holding. I needed several components. Sorry?
I ignore that.
Okay. I needed several components that relate to the being in question. And I needed souls. Souls freshly departed from their bodies. And then he glances outside at the Titan. And that is coming along quite nicely. As he says that, another row of torches that are surrounding the statue light up, leaving a number unlit, but it's maybe a little under halfway completely filled.
I would like to interview Dracula.
Okay. Yeah, please roll interview.
Marcus, am I able to do what I sent you on roll 20?
We can
Yeah.
also see.
Roll daring action.
That would be a hunt because it's not
Oh,
immediate
would it?
danger. That's what I was looking at. So this isn't
It's
unless it's like super dangerous and physically active to sneak around.
it's not dangerous in the sense that there's like obstacles that could harm you if you fudge the roll. If Dracula notices you, there's a potential for danger. I don't know if that's a sound interpretation, but let me look
Then
at hunt.
I would think hunt would be a better option for that.
Yeah, let me look at
I
it.
would disagree.
You
Just
should-
looking at the text of the rules, I would think this is a daring action. You're trying to do something under fire. You're not.
Set up an ambush also sounds appropriate to me though.
Yeah. So M is like, I'm gonna go fetch chairs and walked out of the room.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
that's why I was thinking hunt would be appropriate
So your aim is to walk out of the room.
to like make it look like I'm walking out of the room.
Okay, but your actual aim is to hide somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, daring action's right there. Okay.
It's a difference of 1 point, a +1 between the two for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. With a hunt. So that's a hunt from you and a interview from Lady Anne, and we'll resolve the interview first, just so if things start to go down, we have that done.
Cool. I got a 10 on my
Awesome.
interview.
working on my hunt.
And yeah, I think the first and most obvious thing is I'm going to ask: are there any inconsistencies in his story?
No, not that I can think of. Everything he's said has been uh, consistent with what you found out so far.
Yeah.
Um,
And then,
oh, actually, the meal thing. He said he's summoning this thing as a meal and a source of sustenance. That hasn't come up. That
Yeah.
isn't part of what you found out yet.
Mhm. And then I'm going to follow that with: what is this person hiding from me?
The last step of his plan.
Sorry,
Summoning
say
the
again?
dragon. The last step of his plan.
Mm.
Summoning the dragon was a big part of it. You've thwarted that. You've gathered, but there is one last step that he hasn't revealed yet, I guess.
And just because I am able of doing this, I would like to ask: what does Dracula feel most guilty of?
I guess leaving tasks that were rather important to people that have proven to be insufficient
Unsatisfactory.
in. Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
If anything,
That's about what I.
he's Dracula,
That's
though.
better than
Like, yeah.
expected. So I'll take it.
Guilty is a strong word, I think, for him.
Yeah, I
Regretful,
totally
yeah.
strongly agree with that.
But yeah, that's it. I'll open up an opportunity to do for anyone to do interview or lore before things potentially pop off with M's hunt,
AKA, Nia, you can roll for it too.
if you want.
Yeah, because the hunt for me is a good one.
Interview
Well,
or
it's decent.
lore?
Yeah, or actually, rather, any investigation move.
Any investigation.
Yeah, we'll treat this like it's still a part of the investigation that started with the chronology puzzle.
Okay. I will do. I'm better at this. It's a knowledge. So, one question.
Okay.
Is there anything out of place with my understanding of how things should be?
Hmm.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is. Depending on how much you know about vampires, everything seems to be on the up and up as much as it can be. His behavior, his appearance, yeah, his
I guess
conduct.
that would be dependent on how much I know about vampires.
Mm.
Hmm. M, assuming you don't have a knowledge or lore roll that you want to make.
I don't.
Okay. So how does this hunt resolve? You got a 10, you said?
Actually an 11 because I have a +3 to hunt, not a +2. So that is a you get the jump on or ahead of your target.
Okay. So you successfully sneak behind, maybe not completely, but in the vicinity, like outside of his peripheral vision, behind Dracula.
Okay.
What's
And
the
then
move?
I will look to my allies and hold.
Does anyone
And
make
that's
eye
it.
contact?
Summon a yeah. I'll make quick eye contact to acknowledge that I know that this is coming, and like I know that we're about to fight this person, and I'm just trying to squeeze any last bit of information that I can out of this
Okay.
vampire.
Yeah.
And that's
From
it. I just wish to summon this creature and then suck its blood, and you need the souls of, I don't know, a city to do so.
he looks you up and down, not in like a gross way, but he looks at your attire and your accoutrement, and he says, "You understand that? I don't mean to presume. You're a warlock, are you not?
Yes.
You understand that certain things have certain costs, and sometimes those costs involve souls, lives."
All my sacrifices are personal, ones that I do myself.
Mine. Well, I've summoned the monster outside. I think by some standard, it could be said that these sacrifices are personal as well. But more importantly, my desire is intensely, immensely personal.
And what is your desire?
He smiles again, or rather his smile broadens. I guess it doesn't matter at this point.
Does it not?
It doesn't matter that you know, I should say. You were right. Everything you found out was true. I intended to summon a dragon, but not only a dragon. I wish to summon the dragon. Does that mean anything to you?
Does it?
Roll lore.
Sure.
Or does that feel appropriate? I think lore would have the best questions for it.
Sounds good. 14.
3 questions.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Tell me, what is the history of this dragon?
Um,
Of the dragon.
I need a little more specificity. Are you asking about the divine dragon, or the dragon
The dragon that he is
that he references? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, enough of the history of this country, enough of the history of Dracula himself to know that Dracula means something in the language of its origin. Dracula means son of the dragon.
He's trying to summon Dad.
Mom. And exactly what type of creature was this dragon?
In game stats,
Dragon.
it's a vampire. It's his papa. In game stats, it is a vampire lord,
Interesting. Okay.
where he is
And
a
what is
vampire.
this creature capable of and weak to?
Ooh, it is capable of biting, clawing, using a longsword, draining a soul, and spouting hellfire. The stats don't list any weakness, but I want to give you something, so I will say,
No weakness is fine. It doesn't have to have a weakness.
yeah, actually that makes sense. So yeah, they are not weak to anything.
It's freaking Dracula.
Yeah, it's a Dracul.
I like it. I still don't think you fully understand what personal means.
It may be that we have different definitions. I'm
Em
reuniting
will
my...
rush up to attack him as he's saying this to
Okay.
show him the definition of personal.
Thank you. That's what I was hoping for.
Excellent. Yeah,
So-
give me a roll.
Yeah, she wolfs out and goes for it. So that's gonna be a battle, right? Correct?
Mhm.
Or is that gonna be okay? So
No,
on
it'll
the
be
10,
battle.
I choose 2.
Still going with the not rolling under 10. I love it.
So obviously 5 harm out the
Okay.
gate. I'm going to use the additional forward to throw him off balance, giving my allies 1 forward against him.
Nice.
Awesome. Is it everyone gets 1 forward, or I know you've used this before, but yeah.
It just says giving your allies each. Oh, each. They both do.
Oh,
Each of them
awesome.
individually get 1 forward on it.
Okay, 1 sec. Let me get Dracula's health down here. So you did 5.
5 harm.
Yeah. I'm going to use that as an opportunity to launch a bolt at him, but an icy bolt.
Yeah, please do. Do you shred every time you attack, Ash? Em?
Yeah, that's automatic.
Okay.
So here's the shred ability. Whenever I deal harm to a creature with armor using my claws and bite, which I am, its armor is reduced by 1 per creature per combat encounter, so it can only do it once.
Cool. I'm gonna shoot an icy bolt at this fool.
Okay. Oh, also, I misspoke. Dracul is a Nosferatu. Dracula is a vampire lord.
Got it.
Yeah.
By the
Also,
way,
one sec. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
13. I
Ooh.
assume. Oh yeah, 13 is obviously success. I know what things are successes. Sorry, been playing too much D&D lately. Apparently, I don't need to wait to see if 13 hits. A 13 is a success. Cool. And I get to choose an additional benefit. What do I want to do? Additional benefit. I'm going to deal additional harm, making it 6 harm. I see. And then my ability also gives +1 forward to anyone else who's attacking because I cause so much pain.
Okay.
Did you take your +1 forward?
Yes, I did. That's why I rolled +4 rather than +3, and it changed it from a 12 to a 13. So I
W.
was deeply grateful.
So how much damage was that total? Harm?
6 damage from me, 5 from
Ew.
M,
Okay.
and +1 forward to or +2 forward now to Moss.
Hey,
Cool.
and I'm going to try and restrain him. Oh,
The
boy.
Astral Tentacles move?
Yes. So that's an 11 because
Is
it's
that-
+2.
Oh, good. I was like, it's about to be like, motherfucker.
No,
What's
no
the difference
drawback.
between 11 and 12 for you? Just out of curiosity.
Nothing.
Great.
And you
then
can
I'll-
choose to use one.
What?
I'm
I
pretty
can
sure
just use one instead of using both of them? Is that what you're saying?
That's what my brain would think.
I'm
no idea.
cool with that. I'm like, yeah, fine with
Okay.
that.
Then I'll just do 1, and that makes it a 10, so it goes off with no problem.
Awesome. He is restrained. And I think that makes it. I think that brings it to his turn.
Mhm.
The smile has not left his face. Being pelted with icicles, being clawed by a werewolf, it doesn't seem to have hurt his mood at all. And he regards all of you with that same smile, that same genuinely, well, maybe not genuinely, but seemingly warm smile. And he says, "All right, let's get this started then." He snaps, and the monster outside. It's loud, you know. A giant monster destroying a city tends to be loud, but it gets even louder. It shrieks. The gouts of flame that have been leaving its mouth to burn down parts of the city intensify the same way the gargoyles' fire breath weapons intensified,
Oh, Lord.
and its eyes light up, and the same kind of array leaves its eyes and starts burning down even more of the city. This continues for only a moment or two, and then it explodes. It disintegrates completely in a wake of destruction, and you see the rest of the torches light up. And as the last one lights up, the eyes of the statue glow as well, and the front of the coffin explodes. Fragments of wood fly everywhere, and behind it rather, where it was, you see a being resembling Dracula in some way. But this being is gaunt. It is desiccated. Despite being as strong as it is, and enough to be able to break this coffin door with little to no effort, it looks extremely weak, and its appearance is shifting. Before, that term wasn't entirely appropriate. It is now. To each of you, you see its hair color change, but unevenly. You see features of its face grow and detract, also unevenly, not bilaterally. And this creature dashes toward, with lightning, with alacrity, toward Greta. I'll put this to the group actually. Does it feel unfair if I allow him in action now, or would you like an opportunity to stop him from reaching Greta?
I think, given that he was just spawned, it would make sense for us to get a reaction to that at the very least.
Yeah, he's got a little summoning sickness. Okay, yeah, that feels fair to me.
Effectively.
So he is rather fast, and he is he has practically closed the distance to Greta, but it's all of your turns now.
Okay. Are they both within reach of me?
You just attacked Dracula?
Yeah.
They are within, Greta and Dracul are within movement range to you. You would have to move away from Dracula.
Okay. So Dracul is the stronger one?
Um, is there a reason you would know or be able to tell?
Sorry, what?
Is there a reason? Okay. Is there a reason you would know or be able to tell?
Smell, maybe?
Sure. Would that be? It wouldn't be a hunt.
It'd be like a poke around hunt, probably.
Okay. Yeah, poke around. Does poke around have questions associated with it?
It does.
Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
So poke around hunts. That'll be one question, which, given that I'm werewolf, I also get the keen nose, which means I can ask an extra hold, which is, have I smelled this person's scent before, or whose scents can I smell here? Can we change that to like which one smells a bit more pungent?
Yes,
That's
but
the
that
best word I can think of for the undead.
pungent's probably pretty good. Yeah. Dank. Yeah.
Take that. Magically dank. Which one smells more magically dank?
I'll say yeah. You could you could spin it that way. I think it might not entirely imply whether one is more powerful than the other, because one has been dead, truly dead, like actually dead, for millennia, and one is alive and has fed recently and stuff. But yeah, Dracul is the more magically dank one.
Oh, I love that. I also do have astral sorcery because I took the silver sorcerer.
Oh,
and I
that's
forgot
right.
about that.
Yeah.
So I might be able to kind of tell the difference there as well.
Yeah, you totally can. Yeah.
Okay. So knowing that, I will push Dracula off and rush at Dracul to stop them from getting to Greta.
Okay. You still have a question, don't you? Or was that your question? You're good? Okay.
That's fine. I don't have another question I want to ask, really.
So pushing Dracula, that seems like a battle?
No, I'm just like pushing him to the side, like running past him.
Oh, I see. Okay.
No, I'm not like trying to throw him off guard. I apologize for.
He's no, it's all good. He's still restrained, so that's easy enough. And you make your way to Dracul. I think you get there, so you are able to do whatever you wish at that point.
Slash.
Go for it.
Ooh, the worst I've rolled ever. Let's go. So that's gonna be still a 1, so still 5 harm.
Nice. Okay. But with no hold or whatever.
No additional hold.
Okay. So you just attacked Dracula. You shredded his armor. And you did an amount of damage that feels consistent to you. Like, he has not resisted your damage in any significant way. In this case, it is different. Your attack still shreds his armor, Dracula's armor, but the damage that goes through is significantly less than what you expect.
I would like to, just in case it matters, my claws and bite count as silver weapons.
Let me check. Oh no, actually. Are they holy? Or
probably not. Yeah, no, they're not holy.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just normal armor. Okay. Yeah. Blessed in Fire is what you want to use.
Not that we know this.
Or Fire. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't. Moss, Lady M, what's the move?
Well, I really want to protect this Greta. But I think right now my method of doing that is casting dark magic, because, dark magic is my jam. So I am going to attempt to rack this creature with so much pain that it changes its focus to me.
Please do. You're talking about Dracula, right?
Yes.
Okay. If we want to call them something other than Dracula and Dracul, I'm cool with that. Okay.
I'm done with it.
That's a little...
Drac and Whack.
Yeah.
No. Dracula and Dracul. Okay.
Dracula and Whackula.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to roll my sorcery. Ooh. And I'm going to spend my 2 sacrifice hold or whatever to raise that to a 13. So I'm gonna rack this creature with agonizing lightning, doing 4
Ooh.
harm, fire harm, at ranged. This will reduce any harm that they do by 1, and I'm going to try to draw its attention to me and away from others.
Okay.
And I'm going to say something like, "I'm sorry, I cannot let you manhandle my staff."
I'm trying to think of a way to resolve the attention thing. Because you do the damage. It's not. How much did you say? 4?
4 harm, fire type.
Yeah. Oh, is it fire? I thought it was lightning.
It says that rack. I mean, this is literally the text of the spell.
Sure.
Rack a creature with agonizing lightning. It does 4 harm fire damage at range.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Reduce any
mean-
harm that they deal by 1.
So that's rather effective, actually. And it reduces any harm they do. I think the question is, have you done enough damage to pose enough of a problem that he will stop prioritizing feeding to prioritize you?
Well, so I did spend 2 sacrifice hold to get the benefit. You draw your opponent's attention onto you and
Oh.
away from others.
Yeah, okay. No, you do that then. Yeah, so he's
Sorry,
fixated
that was
on...
incorrect. I should have said that I spent hold to do this. My bad.
I think you might have. Did I just not catch that?
I don't think I think I said it as
The phrasing was a little like,
yeah. No, I think I said it as part of my like wall of text rather than as like
yeah.
technically speaking. This is what I am doing, so I apologize.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, so you do that. He is fixated on Greta. He's looking at her, looking at you back and forth, and then looks at you.
And as
So-
a werewolf slashing at him.
Okay. Oh wait, you just went no? Was
No,
it?
that's yeah. I just went before and
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. So there's multiple sources of distraction coming at him.
Yes.
Moss, you got something?
Boy, I feel like those 2 have got Greta covered, so I'm going to see if I can keep Dracula restrained for another turn. Ooh, a 13.
That's a dub.
Nice, nice, nice. So that is. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Your spell works better than you expected it to.
Get a combat spell benefit.
Oh, right, I looked at the wrong thing. Deal +1 harm.
Okay.
'Cause why not?
Does it usually not deal any harm?
No, yeah, it usually doesn't.
I feel comfortable telling you that his armor will block that. If you want to choose another effect, that will actually,
okay.
yeah.
So these are your spectral tentacles, right?
Yeah.
Want to force him into like an awkward position? I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but like,
They
It's
don't
just
ignore.
Like,
Sorry, go ahead.
it's just like I'm already restraining him, so would that make a difference?
I mean, you could.
It could,
there's
yeah.
windows. We could hold him outside the window. Can he fly? Can he fly?
I feel like he's
Probably.
gotta be
Yeah.
able to fly.
Yeah,
Into a
he's-
bat or
yeah.
something.
Sure, but
Yeah.
I'll
It
throw
doesn't ignore
off
harm, does it?
balance.
The harm from the does it say?
No,
Okay.
it does not say that.
Okay, just
So-
checking.
Throw your opponent off balance, giving your allies +1 forward against it.
Awesome. Yeah, so he was already restrained, and I think my mental image is that you've doubled down and tightened those restraints. And he is fully, like, he cannot move. He seemingly cannot move. And I think that'll carry over into his turn. Let me see what he's got up his... Dracul is coming after you, Lady Anne. In much the same way that he teleported, or visibly teleported, or apparently rather, teleported up to Greta. He does the same to you, and he is about to claw. I feel weird letting them take actions, because I feel like everything is supposed to be like you all react to their intent to do something, and that's what it sounds like. but he also hasn't
Yeah, I mean,
done
you can
anything
force me
really.
to do battle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exchange harm.
Or I can try to, I mean, no, literally, like you could force me to roll to do battle, or you could force me to roll to resist dark magic or something.
Yeah, I am gonna do that in a sense. He's going to bite you.
Okay.
Or he does bite you.
I mean, mechanically, what I would say is that like my
Yeah.
thing was I drew his attention to me, so
Yeah.
that means that he bites me instead of Greta. So
Yes.
I'm happy with that resolution.
Okay, yeah. He bites you, and you feel a sickening feeling. It's sickening in particular because it is a feeling that you subject other people to that you have never been subjected to. I don't think. You can decide that actually, but you feel a little bit of your soul leave your body. He does 2 harm.
So I've got a. I am so sorry to do this to you, Marcus.
Please do it.
One of my warlock abilities that I took this level was Soul of Cinders. You've sold your soul.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. You are immune to any effects that are based on draining or stealing your soul.
Perfect. So the bite goes through, but you
Yes.
don't feel that sickening feeling. You feel whatever you feel. That's your choice.
There's nothing there, puppy.
He is enraged. He is hungry. He has the hunger of millennia inside of him, and you've just denied him sustenance. So I think he pushes you off a little bit as he gets his fangs out of you. But then, yeah, sorry,
How much does the bite do?
just 2.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, and the soul drain, I say that took up, even though it failed, I think it took up his action effect, so or attack effect or whatever. So yeah, that's his turn. Dracula, I don't know. He's restrained. Here, what's he need to do here?
I'm gonna smile, like a maniac in the corner.
Yeah, I think his smile gets a little more like unhinged. Not literally like a snake, but like he is showing that he's not happy with the way things are going. Okay.
Fair enough.
Em, are you?
He's gonna try to break out anything.
Yeah. No. Where's your attention right now, Em?
Given that Dracul just teleported away, I'm probably gonna try to rush to help Lady Anne. I think.
Okay.
So my attention right now is on the space where Dracul was, with Greta in front of me.
So you're putting yourself between Greta and everyone else.
That's just kind of where I was before, because I ran after Dracul to attack him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dracul.
Is Greta not doing anything?
Nope.
Or okay, we decided
she
that she
can.
wouldn't.
Yeah, I put her there as like a free
For
patch up,
very
but she
important reason later on. But if I need more power, I may sacrifice Greta. Just saying.
She's just hit point back. It's fine.
She's my battery, okay? And I'm not gonna let anyone kill her.
let me look at her stats actually, because she does have stats.
So I was reading back into the combat section. So we're kind of playing this in reverse, where players are going and then the monsters are reacting to us.
Yeah.
When it's supposed to be like the monster's like, this is what the monster's intention is, and then we react to that, like you were saying.
You also got the jump on him, kind of.
Yes, in this case.
Yeah. So her battle isn't too bad. Do you all want her to try to do battle?
No, I want her to stay alive.
You sure? Okay.
I mean,
what's the consensus?
That's the group's decision. I want her to stay back.
I believe M thinks she's squishy and would want her to stay back.
Does not make a difference to me, so we can just.
Yeah, because you can't sacrifice.
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh, actually, does it feel cheap to let her patch up in battle?
Patch up mechanically is after battle, I think.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, after a fight, they can take a moment.
I'll say that if you all want, she can do that like mid combat. I'll say that's like her specialty to make up for the fact that she could do battle but is not. But yeah, that's up to you all.
Mid combat works for me.
Yeah, I'll say per round. That's probably excessive, but I'm okay.
Yeah, it's definitely excessive.
So as Moss, as you tighten your astral grip on Dracula, his, like I said, his smile widens even further, unnaturally almost, and he makes direct eye contact with you and attempts to hypnotize. So you will resist dark magic here, and then yeah, the result will determine what
Too
happens.
bad that wasn't me.
Yeah,
Well,
that was you. You were the big prize. That's what he would have wanted, but
Can
I
you
think
still
Moss
do
is
that?
posing more of a problem.
Or does it have to be like, we're looking at each other?
I don't think so necessarily, but that's just how I'm kind of.
Fair enough.
You're not in a fictional position for that.
Yeah.
I would
I
say.
think I get something. No, I don't. Never mind. 12.
If we're just gonna roll perfectly all game.
Almost perfect. Knock on wood.
Okay, so you feel the beginning effects of a hypnotism ability. You feel your mind start to turn toward feelings of camaraderie or cooperation with Dracula, and you shrug it off.
I
Jolly
like-
cooperation.
Yeah,
I like
jolly
rearranged
cooperation.
some of the tentacles to cover his eyes and mouth, but they're see-through, so it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and then you can't be targeted again this scene. So if I try to, tell me, fuck off. So having failed the hypnotism, he's now going to try to soul drain you.
Mm.
So yeah, actually, I think he just does it. So it's 2 harm. It ignores armor.
Right back at him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it suffers 1 harm that ignores armor whenever a creature tries to drain my soul.
Oh, jeez, you guys all have soul drain stuff. Huh? Okay. Normally he would heal 2 harm. So he's just gonna heal 1 this time. And then he does the 2 harm to you.
Bleh.
I think that's both Dracula and Dracula's actions. So
Does
it's
the-
you all now.
The soul drain ignores armor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so looking, because I think M would probably be going first, because attack.
It's reasonable.
Do I want to take care of the ads, or do I go for the boss? I don't know. Which one's closer to me? If I'm over by Greta, is Dracul closer or is Dracula?
I think Dracula.
He's a bit closer. Is there like a torch sconce on the wall or anywhere with fire?
Several. Yeah.
Can I grab one?
Absolutely. Yeah. You wanna?
Okay, I'm gonna
Dashes
rush
at him.
up to. I'm gonna grab it, rush up to Dracula, and stick the torch in his fucking mouth.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. He's restrained, and you have a relatively easy time doing that. I think that's a do battle, and torches. Oh, torches have their own stat, don't they?
Yes.
Let me make sure. You don't have that on hand, do you?
It's very quick. Heavy torch is a club wrapped in oil-soaked rags. It's 3 harm. So that's the only thing I'm seeing, unless it's like a oil flask. What I was intending is like to like smack him with it and then go back at him with the claws.
Yeah.
Like light him on fire is the goal.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just light my hands on fire again. Fuck it.
Okay.
Full send.
That I think that would end up being a mix of damage of like fire and not fire essentially.
Yeah.
But I'll say it'll add 3 fire to your attack.
So do I take 3 harm then?
I think part of the heavy torch is that it's like also bashing along with being fire, so 3 sounds like a little excessive.
It's 3 harm, close, and fire.
Yeah, but like above game, like not mechanically.
Yeah,
Like it does that much because it's also heavy.
Yeah, but it actually doesn't even say how much fire damage it does, just that it does fire damage. So the
Yeah.
oil flask is what I was looking at. It deals 1 harm, ignoring armor until it's put out.
Yeah.
So I would take that ongoing until I put out the fire.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So I'll do that harm, and then I'll go smack a bitch. I smack a bitch.
Go for it.
So that's gonna be an 11. So that's gonna be choose 2.
Are you sorry? Just quick thing, Ash. Are you fine with that harm?
With me taking harm?
The ongoing.
Does that bother you, or is that important or insignificant at this point? I have the ability to potentially reduce it, but it costs me a resource.
I'm at 1 harm.
Great.
From fire. I'm good. My hands are charred already. She can't feel them.
Oh, good.
So it's just fuck it. Grabs the punches the fucking oil lantern, slashes her hands, and just goes at it. So that's gonna be 5 harm to him again. Plus whatever the fire you're doing. Adding on top of that, you are muted again, it looks like.
I am, thank you. So it's 5 normal, including shredding. You shred again.
The shred only applies once per scene.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yep, right there. Cannot be reduced by more than 1.
Okay, so you're doing 3 damage. How much fire feels appropriate? Because your hand being like a heavy torch is not outlandish to me.
We could say it's an additional 2 then, because like that's what the regular fire is, and it's doing 1 ongoing ignoring harm.
Sure.
Ignoring armor. So it'd be
you've
at least 1
done-
fire damage.
You've done 5 total.
Awesome.
After armor and all that.
Yeah.
Moss and Lady Anne.
And I'll up that harm by 1 more with the additional
Oh, right.
forward I got on that.
So you've done 6
Yeah.
total.
I want to be a little bit. I'm gonna be a little supportive here. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with this, but for now, at least, I just want to get a knowledge roll underway to help out my allies in combat.
I just want to say, nobody watching can hear this, but on our playlist, Jewel of the Fates has just come up, and I'm all about this.
Yes, it has.
I'm very, very, very happy with this.
They can't hear the music.
No, they shouldn't be able to.
Okay,
Yeah. Some of it's copyrighted too, so I don't
Yeah,
want to.
no, that's fair. That's fair. It's a little disappointing, but it's fair.
Yeah.
It is cool. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna make a knowledge roll here.
Yeah, please.
10. How much hold is 10? 10 is 4. Yeah, I'll hold 4 then. And so I can spend that to help my allies at various points reactively.
Cool.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sort of step back and think about vampires for a second.
Yeah. So you are assessing both of them, I assume. You got like the Sasuke Uchiha thing, where you're just like scanning them over as they go about their business, as they act. Moss.
Matt, you see option 3 there, right?
I do see option 3 there. Yes.
It does not say it can't stack.
I know, but I can only spell it 1 at a time.
Okay.
Mm.
So
Through this ability, I can only spell this hold 1 at a time.
Okay. That makes me sad.
I did think of that myself.
I'm glad.
On the other hand, I have 2 different ways of doing that, so I can do it twice in 1 turn.
Oh,
so I can get 2 in.
That's not bad.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Are there windows in this room? I don't remember.
There were windows in the ballroom. I actually did not decide if there were any in here, but I kind of like it being
I thought
dark.
we overlooked the city.
Yeah, it had
The
been
ballroom.
described that we could see from inside the cathedral area. We could see the creature.
Oh yeah.
Had been described.
Oh yeah, because when you snapped, it like blew up and everything. So yeah, I think they're not floor to ceiling like the other one, but there are windows.
So my spectral tendrils are not like, they don't do damage, but would they be forceful enough to break a window with Dracula entangled in them?
Is Dracula's weight enough to break a window? Marcus, you're muted.
Sorry, yeah, that's the question. Do you have the means to fling him? Because if it's him, he has sufficient density and mass to break the windows. If you have a way to launch him.
There aren't. I mean, the whole spell is just you wrap the tendrils around a target. So I have no idea. I mean, that might mean no, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it feels like a restraint thing more than a like movement thing.
Okay. Well, in that case, I would like to keep him restrained while
Okay.
while fighting two combatants. 10. Okay, so it works.
Awesome. That's supposed to last until your next turn, is that right?
It says, honestly, it says it lasts a turn, so maybe
Yeah.
it's not that long.
I think if
but-
it was a D&D spell, it'd be around, effectively.
When it comes back to the person who cast it or
Yeah.
used it. Yeah. You've done this 3 times now. I feel like it should have like some maybe not stacking, but like ongoing thing that like if you do it enough, um, do you want to do like one bashing or something? um,
I don't. It's just not meant to do damage. I
yeah.
think. I think
Um,
it's fair that it's not doing anything additional.
it'll be handy regardless. So I think it's yeah. We'll see, I guess.
It's super handy. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hasn't moved and he hasn't been able to use his more like damaging stuff. So it has been yeah pretty good. Yeah. So it's their turn, huh? Having failed to feed on you, Lady Anne, Dracul is going to make his way back to Greta. And I think you're going to have a more difficult time distracting him. Yeah, so he teleports, not really, but he moves fast enough that he appears to teleport up to Greta. He sinks a claw into her hair and partially into her skull, and he bites.
I'm going to use my knowledge first of all to keep an ally from taking harm, causing her to take -1 harm from the attack, and
Okay.
then I'm going to use a sacrifice, my last sacrifice, to cause her to resist a second harm from the attack.
Okay. So
She will resist 2 harm from this attack.
and it does 2 harm, and the drain effect heals him based on how much harm he does, and he's done none.
Mm-hmm.
That was very very effective. So yeah.
Clutch.
What does this look like? Because he's going to bite at her neck, but you've interfered somehow.
Yeah. So I think so. The knowledge part of this is like, he's going for your neck, right? Just like something basic like that, so that she like looks up and dodges out of the way. And then like the more magical resistant part of this is, I think the runes on my flesh, which you can see sort of through my ripped, still for formal gown, uh, start glowing, and you see like a brief like shield up here at her neck, just a glowing blue shield.
Yeah.
The protection.
So yeah, he grabs her. He goes to bite her. His fangs bounce off a magical shield, and he looks at you with a menacing glare, with intense hatred.
Bad puppy.
Uh, so the drain, I think, is just something that happens anytime he bites. So I think he still has an attack effect left. Are you able to do that again? Do you want to even tell me if you're able to do that again?
I neither want to tell you nor can I.
Okay. I'm just double checking to make sure I'm not expended as far as attack effects go. Yeah, that just happens whenever he bites. So he's gonna try to bite again, and I think successfully this time. So he looks at you, glares, and then torques Greta's neck into a position where he's able to bite. He bites, and Greta has lost a sum of blood, and he has healed himself.
How healthy is he looking?
Let me check.
Considering that he's an ancient vampire thing.
Yeah. He's looking pretty well. Dracula looks far worse.
M
Is
swap.
bad.
Hmm?
Sorry?
M swap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like exasperated from running back and forth between the two. Just fuck. Once and goes to get the other one.
So you're going
And
after.
yes, and I will take my harm from the fire on my hands, and I will whack.
Okay.
Still one.
Oh wait, Dracula hasn't gone.
Oh, never
My
mind.
bad.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Sorry, scrolling back to in the wrong direction. Back to his stats. Okay. So the hypnotism didn't work on Moss. The blood drain does not work on either of them, or not completely effectively on either Moss or Lady Anne.
And M is still standing in front of him as at this point.
Yeah, you are. He's gonna try to hypnotize you. So, please roll resist
need
dark
to.
magic.
It fails automatically.
Okay. All right then.
If I wasn't already in beast form, it just whoop.
Yeah.
There you
Is
go.
it just like all hypnosis effects, that kind of thing?
Whenever you're in beast form, you ignore any attempts by enemies to magically influence your mind.
Okay.
Whenever someone tries to magically influence, I can immediately shift it to beast form, and anytime I shift in and out of beast form, I heal harm.
And you're already in beast form. So you feel this effect not even start to take effect, but you feel the attempt. And
And mm,
yeah.
I'm gonna roll control for real quick to see. Okay, cool.
Okay. So that having failed, and that being very confusing to him because you don't appear to be the type that can resist mental influence, he's going to try to blood drain you. So
Isn't he still restricted?
yeah, but this is a ranged thing.
Oh,
Yeah. Um, so it's going to be 2 harm. It ignores armor. Ranged. Do you have anything to deal with that?
I mean, aside from punching me in the fucking throat, probably not.
So yeah, you take 2 harm, and he's healing himself too.
Yeah.
You all can tell with certain effects that they take, particularly the bite and this drain effect, they seem to rejuvenate a little bit. That's why I'm telling you that they heal, just because like I think it would be
Yeah.
obvious. Yeah. So yeah, you all
Yeah, he
can-
pissed off M with that, so she's not gonna swap. She's gonna stab, which still won either way. So deal harm of 5
Okay. That's with fire too. 2 points.
with the 2 points of fire, which I will also take, and that puts me up to 5 harm.
Okay.
I'm a little hurt now. Now I'll take some heals.
He's looking rough.
I don't have
Despite
any
having just rejuvenated himself, he is not like gut spilling out on the ground harmed, but he's struggling to stay standing, especially given the fact that he's restrained around the arms. He's not
Yeah.
able to keep himself up especially well.
Can we say for that battle, M grabbed his mouth and pulled it open and ripped one of the teeth out or something?
Oh yeah, you want to rip out a fang?
Yeah, it's like it. Give me that.
Yeah, no more
Ripping it
biting
out
for
in
you.
anger from biting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll also say he won't be able to heal as much. I don't think that makes sense entirely, but that's yeah, I like that.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Moss and Lady Anne.
I'm gonna approach Dracula quickly, and you said he's looking weakened.
Yeah, very.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to use my ritual knife to sacrifice him.
Okay.
We'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm not expecting it to go great, but I have some tricks up my sleeve. So, okay, I'm going to spend all my remaining hold to get that up to a 10. This is the battle move. And the reason I'm spending all my remaining hold is that if I'm successful, I'll just get some more hold.
You had +1 forward.
I do.
Oh, that's
even
right.
better. Cool. Then that puts me at okay. How do battle moves work? I haven't actually rolled battle once. Hold on one second.
7 to 9 is 1. 10 to 12 is 2. 13 plus is 3.
Okay, so I might as well just stop at 10 and keep a hold just in case it doesn't kill.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so I'm going to deal harm.
Okay.
And I'm going to spend my other one to deal an additional harm.
How much is that total?
With my sacrificial knife, that puts it at 4 harm.
Do you have to kill him to sacrifice him?
Yeah.
You were so close.
Oh, has he been taking harm from being on fire? It's like one ongoing until he gets a chance to put it out.
You hurt him with the fire when you hit him. I don't think he catches on fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But yeah, you were very close.
Okay, wait.
Don't worry.
I gotta look this up.
I'll let
Yeah.
you go so you can.
I want this to succeed. If you have anything else.
Hold on. Let me just look at my stuff for 1 second.
The weapons.
No, the weapon is just the weapon.
It's a ritual knife,
Oh,
right?
cool. Oh, I don't have to succeed. I can give a +1 forward to M, and then if M succeeds, I succeed. I can have M sacrifice him for me.
So next turn, if M kills
Yeah,
him,
next
you can
turn, I
sacrifice.
think.
Okay,
Yeah.
Is
awesome.
that really an if?
I mean-
yeah, that's true.
Wait, hold on. What else do I have? Anytime I hit a creature, all my allies get +1 forward. Oh, I have a +1 on my sacrifice move.
Does it apply just to the move or to? You need one more damage.
So it's a tricky question.
Yeah.
I'm interpreting rules here. Whenever you successfully kill a creature with it, you can use the sacrifice move. But so I didn't successfully kill. Okay, so yeah, that doesn't count. Okay, no, I don't get it. Doesn't quite work out. I needed to roll a couple
Need to
higher.
have gone up 5 points.
Yeah,
6
I need to-
actually. 6.
If anyone else can do 3 damage, he will be Cuppet.
Well, that's great to know.
I do 7, 2 of which is fire right now.
Yeah, but I haven't gone yet.
No, I'm just saying,
Boss.
at the very least, he will be gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometime soon.
Granted, hopefully I don't roll a bad right now, which that'd be hilarious. But let's see how it goes.
What are you doing?
I'm going to use, let's see, which effect. Choke a target with acidic mist. 3 harm, ignores armor.
I'm gonna give you a +1 forward on this before you roll. Actually, +2 technically. So
Oop, oop. Nice. So 13.
Big
It goes
dub.
off without a hitch, or no? You get a benefit, right?
I get a benefit.
Okay,
Which
yeah.
is, let's see.
You're not gonna need the harm. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, so, but all the other benefits are not, I don't need it if he's gonna die.
You could. I'll say you can apply it to Dracul instead, if it makes sense. Like maybe the mist spreads far enough that it hurts him too. So then that 1 harm would count.
If
Yeah,
you
I'm not
think
sure
that
what
would
else.
make sense.
Yeah, I don't think that's too outlandish to say that the cloud could go far enough that it hurts him too.
Okay, then deal an additional harm.
Okay. It's acidic mist.
Yeah.
A portion of Dracula's jaw was already gone from having been torn out by M. So it's yeah, he wasn't in the best shape to begin with before Moss emits a cloud of mist. Is it just like it manifests, or is it like a breath weapon?
Yeah, it's like an exhale.
Okay. Yeah, so as Moss exhales this cloud of acidic mist, the rest of Dracula's jaw disintegrates. His flesh, his bone disintegrate, and before the acid has a chance to consume the rest of his body, he dissolves into a fine mist that dissipates into the air. And it would seem that Dracula is no more.
Can I send his soul to my patron?
The sacrifice move is when you kill a creature?
Or when my impromptu offering allows me to do it if I have given someone a bonus.
Yeah. Is there a mechanic tied to that? What happens?
I get to use my sacrifice ability when a creature is killed mid-combat.
Okay. Yeah. So the mist that he breaks down into doesn't dissipate. It what happens with it?
Ooh, interesting. I think that I use my sacrificial dagger to carve a rune in the air of flame, and then I use my hand to push it down onto his mist and say, "You're going to hell," and sacrifice what remains of him to hell.
And he does. He is sent wailing, spiritually wailing, because his body is no more, to the depths of the pit, directly to the service or servitude of your patron. Was it Beelzebub? Was it Baal? I forget.
I think we said Baal.
Okay. Straight to the service of Baal. You've successfully trapped Dracula in hell, in the infernal realm. You get hold from that, right? Sacrificial
I got
hold?
1 hold because I rolled so badly. I rolled double 1 and had +5 on this.
I'll give you 1 more because it's freaking
Aw.
Dracula. You killed Dracula and sent him to hell. Yeah, I think your demon boss is pretty pleased. Dracul wails a sickening, ragged scream at the sight of his son being damned. That was all three of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bye, Greta.
Maybe. No, she's actually okay. They haven't done that much to her. Nosferatu stats. Here we go.
Nosferatu.
Okay. Dracul wants revenge, unfortunately, Lady Anne.
Yeah, of course.
He teleports over to you. He does that thing where creatures, characters that can teleport, do it in stutters, where like he'll appear somewhere, on the way there, disappear, appear again closer. He does that. He jukes past M, and he gets up to you.
I
And
think at
he's-
this point, at least Lady and I are right next to each other.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Yeah. So on your turn, if you want to do battle properly, that'll be easy enough. He does the same thing to you that he tried, or that he successfully did to Greta, Lady Anne. He sinks a claw into your hair and he tries to bite you, or he does bite you rather. The soul drain thing, that's specifically for your soul, because you like pretty much don't have one, right?
It's gone.
Okay. So when he bites you, he does 2 harm from the bite. Assuming you don't have armor. And then he heals 2 as well.
Good.
And then I need you to roll resist dark magic.
I can do that.
Dracula's bite bypassed armor, right?
Yeah. No, wait, sorry. I don't believe it does.
If not, then I would not have taken harm.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have?
I would not if I have an armor of 2.
Did he bite you?
Yeah, you had him bite me with the ranged one.
Oh, that was soul drain. That ignores.
Okay.
Yeah, that ignores armor.
Got it.
I say
I get a 12.
Okay. I think you resist. So.
Okay.
Well, you
I
you
need
almost
to
certainly
raise it to-
resist.
If I need to raise it to a 13, I can.
Okay. Pretty sure 12 is sufficient. No, you're good. I think it's only 9 and below.
Nice.
It doesn't say anything about 12, oddly, but that's yeah. I think that's because anything below 9 is.
Well, then I will not take the time to bump it.
Yeah, you are good. So that was one effect. He can't soul drain you.
There's nothing to drain, my puppy.
He's gonna claw you.
Okay, more stars.
After biting you and draining a bit of your blood, he's gonna retract his fangs from your neck and jab a claw into your stomach, and dealing 3 harm. And it's your turn. Royal you.
M.
Man, I really have to think about my decision here. And ooh, do we have 1 forward right now?
Yes, for me.
Good, because that actually that would have been my first time missing with a battle.
Yeah, I will spend a hold to give you +1 forward.
Good. That makes it so I deal harm 5, plus the 2
Okay.
from the fire still, and I take a harm. Let's go.
I will point out a weakness in defense.
Got it.
Dracul has, I don't know, a weak left rib cage, clearly.
No, yeah. So 5 for the normal damage, 2 for the fire.
Yes.
4. Okay.
And then the fire, at least 1 point bypasses because the oil.
Okay, yeah, that's you have done a moderate amount of damage, a third of his remaining health. He looks a third less healthy. Moss and Lady Anne.
Sure.
I'll also say we're also at the point where we would normally take a break, but this is closing
Yeah.
up pretty fast. Yeah.
No, we might as well do this now.
Yeah, we'll
Um,
finish.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, I'm in pain, so other people should be in pain too, right? That makes sense. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna lightning him
Okay.
again, and again this is fire damage for some reason, but I'll take it. Yeah, okay, I'll just accept that as a success, but I get a drawback. Okay, yeah, I'll take a drawback. Marcus, you're muted.
Yes, thank you. You have a -1 to resist dark magic until the fight ends.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, so I'm spending so much of my soul energy in this that my own magical defenses, I'm pouring them into this, and I'm racking it with lightning. This is 4 harm. This is fire, if that matters.
It
'cause I
does.
believe it does.
Yeah.
And any harm that this creature does is reduced by 1 for the next turn.
For the next turn. Okay. Moss, what do you got?
I am going to try and weaken him, which will reduce his harm that he causes by 2.
That will.
Shit. Drawback. Oh man. Oh nuts.
It succeeds, but with a drawback or just a drawback?
Yeah.
Okay.
Succeeds with the drawback.
Let's see. Hold on. Do I want to? How much do you want this to succeed without a drawback?
It's okay. I'll take the drawback.
Never mind that.
I will say if you succeed. No, you succeed anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've effectively shut him down for the next turn. Yeah, drawback. You.
Please don't.
It's definitely though.
No.
And in this case, it's so much more effective because M does so much damage. You also target a creature you didn't want to.
Who do you target?
Fucker.
Yeah.
M.
I mean,
If you're gonna let me choose, I'm gonna say M.
You
But
can-
I'll.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's M.
Yeah.
So M, you do 2 less. But Dracul also does 3 less, which pretty much negates all damage that he can do, which is incredible. What does it look like? Like, in what way is he weakened?
So this is necromancy. So I think this looks a lot like a. I kind of picture like
I'm picturing like a lich.
spectral. You're picturing what?
A lich.
A lich. Yeah, I was gonna say I was picturing like spectral chains, kind of just weighing him down.
Yeah. So his main attacks, or his only attacks really, are a claw, a bite, and the soul drain thing. So I'll say the chains apparate. They wrap around his arms, enabling him or disabling him from clawing, and they also wrap around his mouth, inside his mouth, parting it and making it so he can't bite anything, like a muzzle or like a muzzle. And then I'll say that affects the soul drain as well. So it is his turn, but he can't really do anything. Being that Lady Anne is the person who's just killed his progeny, he tries to bite, but the chains stop him. He kind of feebly bashes his head against Lady Anne's neck, and it doesn't even hurt. The fangs don't puncture; they can't.
Let me tell you, I am very grateful for this because Lady Anne not doing so hot right now. So
What's your harm at?
So,
9.
Ooh.
That definitely saved my life.
yeah.
Just wanna
That
thank you
straight
for
up
that.
saved your life. Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, straight up
Yeah.
saved my life.
I'm at
Um,
6.
We're,
Golly.
I'm
Type-
at 2, so all good.
oh,
That's fair.
So being that he can't really do anything, it's the top of the order again. It's your turn.
yeah, I'm gonna.
Harm.
Oh, you have a +1 on that then. Sorry.
Then it's a 9. That doesn't, I don't believe, change it.
Well, then I will give you an additional +1 because I can just do that.
That makes it 2. So I'll do 5 harm and then give both of you a +1 towards it forward. So the 5 harm plus the 2 fire.
Okay.
Kill this motherfucker.
Do you want the
And then
-2 to come from? Yeah. Do you want it to come from the normal damage or the fire?
Yeah, I'm saying because it had a muzzle. I'm thinking it probably gives me a muzzle as well because it works.
Oops.
Yeah. Uh.
Oh, that's
Okay.
so awful.
So yeah, that is sad. Um.
I've been calling him a puppy.
Do you whimper?
Sorry.
So it'll be 3 damage and then 2 fire. Okay.
Yeah. Down for that.
You didn't do as much as you're used to doing.
Well, I can't bite. Yeah, I kind of look at Moss like, please.
I
Um.
really owe you one after this.
Can't respond.
It's
So back to Moss and Lady Anne.
How's Dracula looking?
Not good.
Great. The fire's been doing good, right? The fire is good.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Then I'm gonna keep. Man, lightning is working for me, and
Yeah.
it's reducing his harm, so I'm quite happy with this. So I'm gonna keep on doing this as I do this. I get an 11.
Ooh.
I will take quite happily as just a full unqualified success. And I'm not going to buff it. I'm just going to let it sit at 11 because I might want my sacrifice for other things later. Don't know. And I will do 4 fire damage to him at ranged and continue to back up so that I'm further away from him, even though he wants to kill me. But I very much want M between me and him at all times.
So the chains are going to dissipate when it gets to Moss's turn.
Yeah.
I think you your attack takes effect, and as it's happening, the chains are dissipating. So his body is being racked by lightning, and it is being incinerated by it. The way that when you the way that when like lightning strikes wood, it will like burn it and leave a shape in it, or leave that pattern in it. That is happening across his skin, his desiccated. Now I guess a little more fresh than it was because he's fed a few times. Skin. And he
Fresh
is
barbecue, maybe.
Yeah. He is falling apart. And he is convulsing as he is falling apart. And
Palpatine him to death.
yeah, Dracul, the dragon, disintegrates before you. Are you able to sacrifice him?
Oh my god, I could. Sure. Why not? Let's do it.
Is that more?
No, I replaces it.
Enough.
Oh,
you only have a max of 4.
Yeah. What?
Okay.
No, I have a. It doesn't allow me to. My sacrifice ability doesn't stack. So if I sacrifice a new thing, then I don't get.
Oh, okay.
It replaces. It's like 10 hit points or whatever. 13. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I'll take the 4. Works for me.
So what does that do? Yeah, I don't have your playbooks in front of me, but
yeah. So let's see. So I'm gonna sacrifice him, and I think I'm gonna just stick with tradition, right? I think I see like sort of lightning crawling all over his body in like sort of a episode 6 kind of way, as like I've been shooting lightning, and like I see that this is over. So I think I just walk forward and for flavor, if you don't mind, I take out my dagger, which I've been carrying on and off, and I just like draw horrible symbols on what's left of him as he disintegrates to ash and is consigned to hell, and say, "This one's for you, Ball."
okay. So in much the same way that his son was damned and sent hurtling to the depths, he is too. You, I think, also for flavor, get a glimpse of your very, very, very pleased patron with 2 vampiric thralls at his feet, at his service. And the room lays empty and quiet. The coffin with its lid broken, hanging or reclining open against the wall. The torches now dimmed and at some point extinguished. The statue's eyes dim and go dark. And the silence of the room is matched by the silence of the town outside. Still reduced to rubble, but no longer in chaos.
I look around. Is everyone all right?
I come out of beast form after smacking my hands away, so I reduce harm by 1. Actually, no, I have to make a control check for that. 1 sec. Because I'm above this. I do not come out of beast form, but I do smack my hands and stop being on fire.
Put him out. Okay.
Actually, I think it's hold on. I keep forgetting if it's I need to roll it every time or if it's.
I don't think I think you only need to do it in combat situations or heightened situations, but I'm not certain.
It's whenever you take harm, the end of combat, and then whenever there's a full moon, I think, right?
Got it.
Is that true?
Yeah, so you just keep yourself from turning into a beast, or to turn back.
Oh no, don't you have an advanced skill that lets you just do it at the end of battle?
No, I don't think so.
I forget honestly, and I don't have your playbook. So
I have a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we actually have almost everything. No, it doesn't look like it's like.
Moonchild was it? That doesn't let you just go back at the end of battle.
Oh, so it's no Moonchild is I am silver.
Mm.
So it's you can will yourself into beast form anytime and transform back whenever you fail a control move. Once your the immediate threat is over, you can start to try to transfer back. So I can just roll a couple times. Is it sunlight out right now?
How long has this night been?
It's been a night, I think. And I think when you were in the forest with Greta and what was that guy's name? Yeah, when you were in the forest, it was the morning. You all were just getting finished with a very early patrol. So at this point, it is night, and it is a new moon, I think, because I think we said that last time.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett, Greta and Garrett. Yeah, so it's night.
Sense. So
There
it's not
is no moon
automatic.
this
I will
time.
have to make a control every so often.
Okay.
But I will slowly come out of that form.
Moss, you?
Oh, I'm just peachy. You look hurt though.
You know, I've been better, but looking at our work around us, I call that a victory.
Yeah, I
Greta?
thought at least one of us would die. I thought it'd be Greta, especially, but
Hey,
She's been very competent. Hold on 1 second. And I turn towards like down the hall or whatever, and I just scream at the top of my lungs, Ramon!
silence for several moments, several beats, and then you hear a clattering, the sound of cartilage and bone clacking against each other, and you see a skull poke its head into the room. Holy smokes! You did it.
Yes, and we're a little bit parched. Could you do me a favor? Is there a kitchen in this palace or castle or whatever it is? Passel. Wow. Apparently, I'm a little tired. Is there a kitchen of some sort? Could you scrounge up some refreshments for us? Maybe some dates and maybe some wine, or maybe a smoothie.
Being that he is a skeleton, you don't see actual facial features or expressions on him, but he is still just scanning the room with an air of astonishment. So he has not fully recognized your question yet. But as he comes out of it, he says, "No, Drac doesn't eat food. Didn't
Ever entertained
eat
people?
food. Yeah, but they're all soulless. They're kind of sustained by his spirit. Were sustained by his spirit. Oh, that's gonna be a mess.
Yeah. What about his warlock servants? They didn't have food storage here.
Well, they had their own homes. Wait, hold on. I'm not your servant. Why are you asking me to get this stuff?
I think I just like look at him with the look of like, "Are you not my servant?"
I have finally come out of werewolf form.
How much better is this institute library that you're thinking I should work there? Because the way I see it, I have a place to work with no boss here.
That means no pay.
What am I gonna do with money? I don't eat. I don't
What are you gonna do with dusty old books that sit on a shelf all day and aren't touched?
So here's the thing. Just to be honest, we're going to requisition all the books within the library already, and bring him to the institute.
Okay.
So,
Okay. All right. I see your point. Yeah. Okay. I'm not your fetch boy. Whatever. I will attend your books. I will keep watch over your library. I do not get coffee. I get coffee for myself strictly. I don't even drink coffee.
I just thought, as a local expert with so much knowledge at your fingertips, that you might know where one could get a refresher. I'm sorry, I'm bleeding out here a little bit. Greta, do you have that patch up ability thing?
Yes.
And will patch herself up. To get
I can help you here, but I think we should get back to the institute as well. We have a lot to attend to. And she does patch you up
Even
here.
a little fruit juice.
You think Dracula likes fruit juice? What,
I don't
cranberry?
know. Grape juice.
well, I mean, humans are, if you think about it, just fruit
Human
snacks.
juice. Yeah. They're just gushers. Humans are
They're
just
gushers.
enormous gushers.
That's exactly what I was thinking, but I didn't want to say it.
Oh man.
Vampiric gusher.
Now,
Don't
Moss.
bite in too hard.
Moss, you have certain researches that have been forbidden from you, or hidden from you, or things that you have tried to keep secret. I know that you've been trying to keep it secret, but now that I'm in charge of the institute, I think that you should just, pursue this openly and wholeheartedly. And if you need help or assistance in any way, please feel free to come to me, of course, or more likely M. M is very good at doing things that neither of us can do at all, and so you should utilize M as an assistant for tracking or any work that you need to do, and if anything comes of this. Yes.
Well, maybe I'll take you up on that. I was fully intending on just dipping after this, but now that we have a much bigger library, sure.
I just think a salaried position at the institute would be better for you. I mean, I'm not going to lie, funds are a little tight right now, obviously, although I haven't looked at the finances yet, but we have a city to rebuild, and I can't imagine the institute's going to be the top priority. But on the other hand, we did just, save the city to a certain extent, so perhaps we can get some government funding as well.
Now you're talking.
Emma's just staring at her hands, which are just very, very burnt.
How are you doing over there, Em?
You hear a little bit of crunching as she closes her hands.
No.
just a little. Looks at you. Ow.
Burnt dog smell.
We'll have to heal up before we go after that monstrous boss of yours or whatever. You never really told me the whole story.
There's a story for another time then.
Fair enough.
Anybody else
Greta,
want to
shall we make our way back?
Sorry, who were you addressing?
Greta?
Yes, I think that would be best.
Want to check in on Garrett after all.
Yes.
And we make our way back to the institute.
Okay. You don't teleport back this time. You make your way through the ruins of the kingdom, of the interior of the kingdom, and parts of the outside, the villages surrounding it. People are trying to pick up the pieces. Their homes have largely been destroyed. I think some of them probably note that the vampiric influence that has always been over the kingdom is gone, and they start to move in to the palace, to the castle, and they find the partially desiccated and pale remains of all the people that Dracula had been feeding on. Spiritually and sanguinally, but they start to make homes there. You make it to the institute, still partially destroyed, with the tracks, the path of a giant monster going straight through it. You find Garrett. He is well. Everyone in the institute that had not been dispatched in the initial attack is fine, considering. Yeah. And you make it back. We can stop there. Obviously, that's the end. Do we want to take a break and then do like final thoughts on Beneath the Cursed Moon after? I think also an epilogue type of deal is an option, depending on what you all want to do.
I'm down.
Sure.
Yeah, break first.
Break first.
Cool. We will be back in 10-ish minutes. See y'all then.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We have just finished a significant arc in our which one do I roll series. Wow, that was a lot of fun. If you enjoyed that, check out some of our other content. We've got other content on this channel, lots of good stuff going on. On Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, we've got games all set in the same world, fantasy world where we are fighting fascists, capitalists, and religious organizations. You know, what could be better than that? Sunday and yeah, Sunday they're in the middle of a gauntlet fighting for their lives and for honor and pride and a little bit of money too, trying to show off how cool they are. And on Monday we have our group. Oh boy, how do we even say where we are right now? Whatever, but they're dealing with the fallout of the end of the world or something. I don't know. There's all sorts of things going on over there, and trying to figure out how to societally deal with the rise of a fascist dictator. And on Thursday, we've got our dungeon crawl game where we crawl steadily through a dungeon, getting deeper and deeper, and maybe gaining and losing friends along the way, and unfortunately releasing undead armies upon the world and all that good stuff. So whatever, all sorts of fun. Yeah, so check out some of our other content. It's all here on twitch.tv/vanishxzone. You can see the schedule down below. And on top of that, we also have this show. This show is a lot of fun, and we love this show. This show, we check out different RPGs and learn them and try to figure out how to play them well and what that means and all that good stuff, and try to understand what the rules do and what they don't do and how they support and what they don't support. And I think it's a lot of fun. And starting next week, we're going to try a totally different game. And Marcus is going to step down from the running the game seat, and I will step up, and we're going to be running Quest. If you don't know Quest, Quest is a beautiful and elegant, very sweet themed fantasy RPG. A lot of cuteness to it, and a lot of fun. And I'm excited to check it out and play it, particularly since I have some potential young players who are interested in learning to play RPGs, and that sounds really cute and adorable to me. But I would like to give them a cute and adorable system that match the tone and expectations that they're looking for. So I'm excited to try it out here on stream. As always, I like to recommend that people take time out of their lives to support and aid those that are less well off than you. The world is a rough place to be in. A lot of people are suffering, and a lot of that suffering can be alleviated, at least in part, with very simple, small things to do: donating money, donating time, calling someone who's in a rough spot. Any of those things can potentially help. I'm also a fan of direct action, of course, and direct political action, particularly in certain countries that I happen to live, and most of the cast happens to live, and in certain trying times like now. Please rest in peace, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Marcus.
Yeah.
May your memory be a blessing.
Yeah. On the subject of the Thursday game, I would like to maintain that it is not our fault that the Lich escaped from the tomb. It is my fault that they escaped from their holding room, but it is the Sunday game's fault that it left. Just want to put that
I'm loving the little merry war that we're getting between the games about who's unhappy about what for whom. The Sunday game is very, very pissed at the Monday game right now, by the way. I don't know if you've caught this yet, but they're annoyed at you. Like, why haven't those fools just killed Magley yet? So, in the name of the stream. Yes.
Yeah, so I think we're going to close off with an epilogue kind of deal here. I think it'll take place over the few months, several, that it takes to rebuild at least the Institute and part of the township and the kingdom. So yeah, what all do you guys want to be doing in that time? Anyone can start.
I think will try to. It's gonna be a little bit sappy, but I think she's gonna try to get an orphanage or something made for lost wolves or people of lesser abilities, or that's not the word. Who are less well off, who could be seen as outcasts, outsiders. Because M's gay as fuck. It's if you guys haven't figured that out by now, so that kind of like an LGBTQ safe space, even though time frame probably don't make sense, but fuck it, that's what's going on here.
Largo.
Makes sense to me. Yeah.
One of my games earlier this week started a union.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? That was literally yesterday.
Fantasy Union,
Sorry.
baby.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
that makes perfect sense to me.
I think I'm going to do that for werewolves, young vampires, anybody who needs that guidance in life.
It is a pack for people who have not found their pack.
Yes,
It sounds like. So,
definitely. I believe that would probably be part of the institute.
yeah. Who else? We can. It doesn't have to be one thing per person either. If you think of anything else, yeah, feel free to chime in. Moss, Lady Anne.
So, well, Moss has a lot of trouble with empathy and people skills, but I do think that, especially in the beginning, she would spend some time using her ability to help the townsfolk, because she can appear in people's dreams. So I think
Oh, okay.
they would at least try and alleviate some of the horrors they've seen, so they can at least have a peaceful night of sleep.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And other than that, probably more research stuff, soul searching.
Probably getting the destroyed parts of the library back together in some way.
Yeah.
Okay.
M helps with that too, reluctantly, but she'll help.
Yeah, needs a muscle. Lady Anne.
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to rebuild and restart running the institute, get it back in shape. I think that Lady Anne's days of adventuring are behind her now. I think this is probably her last thing, but she will take on the new adventure of teaching and organizing and trying to figure out the best possible way to organize this place so that it is safe for all the members of the institute and secure. She'll frequently be found doing research to help people on specific projects that they're going to do, and tries to use the institute to better the life of people in the city, and hopefully make a little bit of money to be able to support things like the orphanage, in particular, and find ways of sort of helping the city grow, and feel safer and better for all. There'll always be room for monster hunters, and Lady Anne is very comfortable with that. But at some point, I don't think she's able to maintain this sort of desire to be just purely a force for good. She has too much baggage and too much history, and she realizes that she really likes ruling this institute. And so she's going to start looking for unwilling sacrifices to sacrifice to extend her life so that she can stay in charge of the institute for a long time.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you could do that easily enough. I think in the time that you are running the institute as if it were, well, not as if it were, but as a force for good, you continue receiving contact from Bao, kind of egging you on, kind of telling you that you know who you really are.
There.
Yeah,
Fucking kill him.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. I think that what I would try to do is convince Ball that certain targets are worthy and other targets are not worthy, and like literally become a serial killer of
Yeah.
wealthy people, and kill them and steal their money and use the money in the institute and launder the money through the institute to help fund the thing and also extend my life.
Yeah, so the government, someone had mentioned the government before and getting stipends or whatever. The government before now was the clergy and Dracula at the head of it. So the snake's head has been cut off, so to speak, and the clergy has lost status in a significant way. The people that made their way into the castle palace have liquidated all of those assets, essentially, and a lot of them have gone to you. But the clergy remain, and they maintain whatever level of, maybe not influence, but affluence that they had before. So I think that's probably your modus operandi, your main mark. Um, yeah, I think that's where that money's coming from. Yeah,
True,
so
appraise-
And probably a couple of illegal sources.
You
Let's be
know,
honest here.
yeah,
a
they're
lot of
not
them probably
good.
were.
I don't mind sacrificing them against their will.
Um, yeah, so by the end of this, I think the institute is bigger and better than it was before. It has a wing dedicated to the purpose of being shelter, that M has largely overseen. Um, I think the kingdom has expanded; its walls have expanded to include the institute and the township outside of it. So, where there was a clear class divide before, I think the status, the state of all the habitations within it are more or less the same now. They're all equally livable. Um, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
also make sure to 100% give Ramon a very nice salary.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he does with it, but
I was just considering
he's
that.
welcome to do with it as he sees fit. I certainly changed the binding so that he has like total freedom to go wherever he wants, and also do like a skeleton rights like education plan to
Perfect.
let the people around the city know that we have this skeleton. He's friendly. Say hi. He might not snap at you.
So they might have been wary at first, but I think Ramon is amicable enough that he has found that he rather enjoys leaving the place that he is bound to, or was bound to, the way he was before, um, and enjoys going out on the town and the taverns and stuff. Um,
M tries her very best to patch that relationship
yeah,
and always keep respectful distance as long as he desires it.
I think at some point he would be able to laugh at the "Are you conscious?" thing, because that was very, very funny. Um,
Very funny.
I'm so proud of that joke.
that was so
Good
good.
job.
That was so choice. Over the course of the repair of the reparations and uh, post reparation, um, the people of the town are still dealing with an immense amount of trauma from having their town under siege by a giant monster and having a large portion of their populace sacrificed um, to be the means for Dracul's soul's passage back to the earthly realm. Um, yeah, and in that time, I think, I'm certain actually, Moss has interfered with those nightmares, whatever they were, and it's a huge undertaking. Um, I think the way Lady Anne has run the institute has made it maybe a little more welcoming for the less conventional types of people that come through here. So there are a few more dreamers than there were before, where Moss and Harlock Graves were two of maybe three or four. Now there are far more, and they probably help with that effort in soothing the psyche of all the people that have undergone that trauma. Um, yeah. Anything else? Oh,
No, I just want to add that you're definitely right that like the goal is acceptance and welcoming and like any stigmas against werewolves or vampires even or whatever. Right? I don't want that the existence of Dracula to lead to anti-vampire blowback when vampires could be like me and good enough. Not
good
good
enough.
enough.
We're trying to pull a Hotel Transylvania here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Make it a resort people want to come to because it's weird.
I think that happens. I think it becomes a knowledge center of the kingdom. Um, yeah. And I think, unless anyone has other stuff, I think that's it. I think that's Beneath the Cursed Moon. Yeah. I want to say thank you and sorry to Carius. Being a relatively inexperienced DM, I think I butchered a lot of this, but also I love this system. I think it's really fun.
This is really fun.
Yeah. Conceptually, mechanically, advice, I guess. I would say the system assumes just a little bit of familiarity with the Apocalypse World system. I had none until I asked Matt what I should look into, and I did, and it helped immensely. So if you're gonna run this, I would suggest that. Yeah. Anyone else like final thoughts, kind of deal?
After kind of rereading it again and again, and like I'm starting to actually kind of prefer this style of the players are reacting to the world or the characters are it's not like you have action, bonus action, and movement. Like, I do love that. I love my combat simulator. I love my combat simulator, but at the same time, I like this because it is a much more mechanically narrative driven game
Fluid, yeah.
overall, and I really enjoyed playing this a lot. And I think I'm going to try to look into systems similar to this for future games of my own.
Nia, Matt?
Yeah, I really like how like all the at least with all the spells, like you have so much freedom to describe it as you like, and it just gives you a lot of freedom to flavor your character as you want, even though you have a certain number of playbooks. There's enough room to shape it to what you would want it to be. But I had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, I think as a player, I love this system a lot. I think it's just so much fun. The lore and flavor and everything in this game is just it's just spot on, right? It's fun sacrificing things. It's fun. I mean, shocked that I enjoyed that, but it's fun being a dreamer and tangling things in your tentacles or whatever. It's fun being a werewolf and changing into your body differently. It's a lot of fun. From a player perspective, I think this is fantastic. From a game running perspective, I don't think it helps as much as it possibly could in the rule books. And I think probably the weakest area is just straight up combat. There's a desire for combat to sort of fall into, particularly with us who have played so much Dungeons and Dragons between us, that there's a tendency to fall into like a turn-based thing, which is exactly what we did in this final combat. And I think
all the combats before that.
Yeah, and in all the combats before that. And I think that's a mistake in a system like this. But to make that work, I think we need better guidelines as to how combat should work, how it should feel, than are currently in the rules of this system.
Yes.
It's not easy to break out of that habit, right? And especially since it feels so easy and fair, right? It's so easy and fair to say, okay, you go around the table, right? Everyone do something, go around the table, which is again essentially what we did all the time. But that's different than the most dynamic or realistic, and so I feel like I've seen combats in other systems. Apocalypse World comes to mind immediately. Other powered by the Apocalypse system, and I've seen them run brilliantly. But I don't think that any of the powered by the Apocalypse systems, or even Apocalypse World to a certain extent, really does enough hand holding for the game master, the MC, to the master of ceremonies, to really be able to just pick it up and run it. I think it's really hard to do that, and I don't think that it helps very much. So that would be my comment, I guess. Ash, you have thoughts?
Yeah, I would honestly agree with all that. Like the lack of a bit more of a structure to combat. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be turn-based, but more than the monster does something, the characters react. Like, it's a sentence on how combat should function, and then all the abilities kind of like in their specific wordings, they kind of go against that in a lot of respects. They kind of like enforce that turn structure.
That's very true, because our abilities are very proactive.
Yes.
Right. I have one reactive ability, and I never used it because I felt it would be unfair for me to use it if I used my proactive ability and I went before the monsters. So there's certain abilities that narratively make more sense that way, but a lot of this is very a lot of the combat is very player centric again. And not GM centric. I think that there needs to be more writing for the GM about like how to have other things that matter in the combat, right? You really have to start, if you're going to run Apocalypse World or this combat, you really have to start framing it as like, okay, yeah, we've got these combatants, but we have these innocents that have to be at risk. We have these objects that have to be at risk. Like there has to be a wall that's teetering and it's like under construction so that like Dracula can shoot something at it and it can potentially fall down and try and crush someone or something like that. Then you've got to roll reactively. and like then you can follow the fiction a little bit more
Yeah.
easily.
I think
But
that also might have been the way that I structured what I just shared my notes with you all, my prep notes. But I didn't put that much stuff in there at that level. Like Greta was really the only bystander, I think is the term that the game
Yep.
uses. Um, and I think that's the case for pretty much all the fights that we did. There
Yeah.
could have been more of that, and I think the game intends for there to be more of that. So that might be an element of why it felt that way. And then
Yeah.
also the monsters are trying to do something and the players react. I rather like that. Not even
I
to be
like
like
it as well.
contrarian. Yeah, not even to be contrarian. Like I like it, and I don't think it's like I think it's more a matter of taste than my opinion on like the design, because I think you both have a lot more experience with design than I do. Um, so yeah, that's it. I like it. That's all.
I mean,
It's very
sorry.
good, but it falls under the same issues that like Honey Heist did with being a bit too rules light,
Oh sure.
where for any consistent level of play, if we were to play this 200 sessions, we'd get to a point where we've made our own structure to the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we did
Yeah.
even in our 6 or 7 sessions we did here, we made our own structure of
Mhm.
M went first because melee, and then usually Lady Anne, then Moss. Just that's just kind of the order we went. Then it was the monsters, and then back to it.
Yeah.
And anytime one of our allies was starting, particularly Greta, that's when I felt, fuck, this changes what I want to do. That ramped up the tension in the combat, and
Yes.
those are the moments I like the most.
Yeah.
And those are the moments that this system is encouraging.
Yeah.
But it doesn't give the GM the tools from what I have seen. I haven't read the GM section yet. It doesn't necessarily give the GM tools to pull out those cards of like, here's a new tension. Suddenly, there's like the glass is falling and shattering over people. You have to cover yourself instead of going after this or this or this.
Mm.
The
Oh
use
sure.
of daring actions is supposed to ramp up the action.
Yeah.
I think you're right there. I was gonna say
Yeah.
I think maybe I just didn't use the tools to their fullest extent, like I said, but that is also probably true in some capacity.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple different things. I mean, I don't want to. I don't really feel like I need to critique Marcus here.
No,
I'm
Right.
okay with that too, though. If you want, I
I-
kind of like that. Yeah.
I mean, I will say, just for our audience's sake, that we definitely played this in an idiosyncratic way. The rules specifically say this is not a system for a castle crawl, and we definitely did a castle crawl.
Pretty much,
Yeah, which is
This is
great. 'Cause I
Monster of
love
the
castle
Week.
crawls, so who cares? But
Yeah.
it's definitely designed a little bit more for like a monster of the week type thing, where this week we're gonna go to a town and we're gonna investigate the town and do that. It doesn't. The system itself is not necessarily built for larger, longer battle out arcs in some ways. It's
I
more
wouldn't
designed.
necessarily agree with that.
Mhm.
I think there could be still that longer arc of like 10 episodes of Dracula, but it has to be in the town. It has to be in a setting where there
Yeah.
is very real danger present to all of us. So, the edge of a volcano for whatever fucking reason,
Mm.
like near the edge of a cliff in a
Sure.
snowstorm, something with environmental effects.
Environmental, but
In
yeah,
like a throne room with no chairs, no wall, no large dais, just a coffin in the back. Like that doesn't really present any environmental challenges that can be brought out by Dracula to give himself some advantages, or by us to, level the playing field a bit. So I think this is definitely this is meant for like, you're in London in 1874. You have guns. There's a werewolf running through town, murdering people as he goes. Go kill it.
yeah. I mean, it's interesting that a lot of the investigation and lore moves. Sorry, I'm cutting off Marcus. Marcus, please go.
I was about to say I neglected the investigation. I think.
Mhm.
I think initially that was because I thought we were going to run it once, and then, like we said, a mystery constrained to a few hours is not a mystery. It's one puzzle.
Yes.
But then overall, also, I think I neglected the investigation. There could have been more.
Certainly a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying.
No, that's
Pretty much
what
it.
I was.
Like
One of the things I think is really interesting is that the investigation rules sort of encourage not speaking necessarily to an NPC, but rather like, oh, I'm going to go to the town and speak to all the NPCs in the town and sort of get my story from like 20 different people and
Mhm.
match them and things like that.
Yeah.
It's very, it kind of has a vibe like The Witcher almost, right? In the
Yeah.
sense, like the Witcher novels, at least a little bit.
That's what I wish I
Um,
had included more of. That's because that
yeah,
is fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been fun. I could definitely see revisiting the system a lot because I there's a lot of things in this that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I
Definitely.
do think that it needs, I don't know, having I've done a partial dive. I haven't done a full deep dive, but I've glanced through the entire GM section. I've done a partial dive on part of it. I do think it could use a little bit more GM hand holding. There's a lot
A
of
little more explicit structure.
there's a lot, explicit structure. That's a great way of putting it. That sort of thing can always, I don't know. I think in general, games are very reluctant to do that, but games that do that work very well, in my experience, or at least can. I don't know. Right now, I'm learning a game. I'm working on learning a game that is the most comprehensive GM rules I've seen in a while, and I really am loving it. Right? There's
Is
also
this
the thing,
Quest
when the
or-
party rests, roll 2d6 to determine what sort of event happens. These are the list of options of types of events that happen. Here's the table of those events, and you figure it out. You know, it's resultant in some ways, but it's still pretty cool. So I don't know.
Torchbearer, I think, to answer Ash's
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm learning Torchbearer. My bad. That's
I've been, since I've been in game development for so long and in the tabletop space, there is a discrepancy between the two that I've noticed, that no one has really made a solution that fits them together well, which is players should have almost complete freedom to do whatever. GMs should have the more rules. It's like the game engine. So you have your AI with specific opportunities, specific behaviors. You have your environmental effects, like boulders that could fall down that can be triggered by this, and this. And it gives you a specific list, and players can get there, and it's a sandbox for a player. The GM is the one that understands how many grains of sand need to be in that sandbox, how the wood needs to be built, what tools to provide, all that. Like it's more on the GM side of, here's a lot of structure for you to make your game. Your players can do whatever they want.
I really like that metaphor.
That's
Definitely.
consistent
I
with
do see this
Apocalypse
game
World too, I think.
Yes, and I think Apocalypse World does that as well, but not this system. From what I've read, doesn't seem to do that for the GM as much. They don't give. It's more of a. This is a narrative-driven game, so they don't feel like they should put rules into it. Like they feel rules can detract from the narrative.
But rules are really helpful, and the thing that's
Yes.
really important to remember about rules is that it's super easy for GMs to overrule them sometimes if the narrative, right?
And that's what it usually comes down to.
People always, when they're designing games, they forget, like, hey, I'm going to make rules, and like the GM's going to find the exceptions to the rule. I don't need to find the exceptions to the rule and then justify that to not put a rule in. You know?
Yeah, you don't think about how will someone break this potential rule. It's, I will make this rule. People will break it how they see fit.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be thinking about how you can make your system infallible. You should be thinking about what you can do to make your system good enough to the point where people won't need to overwrite your stuff. And as a game designer, I've got a game in my head, a post-apocalypse game, typically based around zombie apocalypse or like a nuclear apocalypse. It's been in my head for 3 or 4 years now that I've been slowly building around. I've talked to you guys about this, and I've gone through several different iterations and different ideas, and like, oh, I could do D10 similar to like World of Darkness with the skills like this. I still like that. I like the Apocalypse World style where it's 2d6. I like D20. I'm considering all of them. It's more about, what do I want the core of that system to be, and how do I want to use the rules of my game to enforce that, to help reinforce that narrative style, that gameplay style, whatever. It's not about making the rules perfect. It's about giving the people who play it the tools they need to play it how they want to. And that's my perspective as a designer.
I don't know if I totally agree, but I certainly don't disagree enough to say anything at this point.
Yeah.
Nia, do you have any final thoughts?
Sorry, I kind of rambled there.
I don't think I have anything to add on to all that's already been said.
That's fair. We sort of took the mic there a little much. That happens.
Listen, I like
okay.
talking about games.
Me neither, obviously. Okay. Well, with that, I think we will call it a day.
Yeah.
Beautiful as always. I love playing with these people. Come check us out. We play every Friday. Next week, we're going to start a new arc based on the RPG Quest. We're going to build our characters on stream and have a grand old time. And we'll have a special guest. Well, a guest. Special. We call them special guests. We have a
Guest for now.
Yes, for now. Fair
Special
enough.
guest implies only there for one episode.
That's true. Well, they'll be there for the entire arc, so there you go. And we want to, as always, tell you to call your cat and feed your mom, but most importantly on this beautiful show, never be afraid of
afraid.
question.
Which one
Which
do I
one
roll?
do I-
Have a good night, everybody.